State courts matter because, once again, voting is a tactic, it is a tool. Having legislators who have your values are a part of that, but making sure that those laws and policies that we vote for, that our elected officials enact, are followed through. And the courts really do help to police our elected officials when it comes to policy and abiding by either the state constitution or the United States Constitution. State courts really impact people's daily lives every single day. And sometimes people don't even know it. Most times they don't. Our state Supreme Court in Michigan, we, for the first time in the history of this state, have a Black woman on, and this is her second term, her first time being elected. And her lived experience when it comes to some of these rulings that are enacted and really do deal with our quality of life has really shown over the last 4 years. When it comes to driver responsibility fees, there was a point in time in Michigan history where a lot of people could not drive, did not have a license, and were fined. It was like a poor tax that was taken away. There have been a number of times where legislation, where people, everyday people like myself, sign ballot initiatives to get things done. Then we vote on those ballot initiatives and they are approved because the voters want it. And then they get stuck in court because somebody doesn't like that they actually got passed and will try to change it. And the courts in Michigan have fought on behalf of residents to make sure that our voice and our votes really do matter and are being held up. People can have a voice when it comes to our courts because of our vote. We vote for a lot of judges that are put into place, and we specifically vote for our state Supreme Court. But when you are voting for your circuit judge or your district judge, these people are determining sentencing guidelines and making sure, or keeping people in or out, bailing, putting people in prison because they can't afford bail. Like, we can actually vote and get people in office who have our lived experience, who look like us, who understand the day-to-day of a regular everyday voter's life, to make sure that they are creating laws and upholding laws that really do benefit us. But I hear people all the time saying these judges are harsh on Black men or harsh on Black boys, and we vote for them or we don't vote, and then these people get elected and then they harm our community. So our vote is our voice when it comes to these judges that sit at different levels across the state, across the country, and it is our duty to vote to make sure that we have the best people in those courtrooms. So prosecutors, listen, we also elect our prosecutors, and we have to vote for people who sometimes, unfortunately, especially for Black people, we don't always have somebody who looks like us, but that lived experience, that understanding of what we go through. Once again, we cannot put ourselves in a victim mentality. We cannot say these things keep happening to us when we don't focus on who has the job. It is our responsibility to get the right people in the job so that they can help. And we have an amazing prosecutor in the county that I live in right now. But once again, that person is being held accountable every day by people who look like me and organizations that are ran by people who look like me. Because if we're not at the table, we're usually being served somewhere else. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the courts, especially in Michigan, but across the country. My father was a felon, right? He was. It was in the 80s. I was a little kid, and he went to prison for a while. And when he came back, he told me that he did something bad, that he had served his time, and that he was re-entering society to make this city, the city of Pontiac, a better place. And my father made it his responsibility to make sure that he voted, to make sure that when any of our family members had to go to court, that he sat there with them to see who these judges were, and then to educate myself and my cousins about making sure to have the right people in those seats. People make mistakes, people do things that they should not do, and they should be held accountable, but they also should not be over penalized just because of the color of their skin or the zip code that they live in. And I appreciate that we, Black people, are fighting more to be in those seats, to run for those offices, and to make sure that they're educating our communities, to make sure that we understand that if we want to have a better criminal justice system, that we have to get people in there that can help us from the inside.